Hello, this is going to be like a series for Jupiter conjunctions or Jupiter aspect with different planets. So, as you know, in Vedic astrology, it's always better if the planet is on its own in a sign. However, some people have got two planets in a sign, or three, or four, or sometimes even five or more. And but I'm going to do today, start uh, with Jupiter conjunctions or aspects, and we go from there. Clearly, the aspect is going to be better with Jupiter, any planet actually, because obviously, if there is one agenda per house, it's so much better than having two agendas per house. So, I feel as though it's always better if the planets are particularly if they're friendly towards each other in good condition, if they could be aspecting each other rather than being together, because that kind of means that two people are talking at the same time. So you can make things, but obviously we've got no choice. We have chosen what we've chosen, and we're dealing with what we're dealing because we chose to do this. So I'm just going to go through the indications of Jupiter, and then as through this we'll go through different planets and what it's like being with Jupiter. So obviously, Jupiter and Venus are two absolute benefics. With Jupiter, I'm going to just put so-called, because Venus generally, unless it is a bad planet for you, is the planet that does not discriminate in any way, shape or form. But Jupiter, on the other hand, Jupiter is a bit fussy, and it does kind of like once it's a bit choosy about what and whom it kind of is connected with, if you like. So anyway, let's have a look, because that once we go through it, I'll give you some more information about Jupiter. So Jupiter is planet of the bigger picture, basically. It's planet of contentment, joy. It's Jeeva karaka. That means it's life force, basically. And it creates opportunity, optimism. It's planet of learning, wisdom, teaching, higher knowledge, happiness, joy, wealth, education. It's the karaka, or the significator for children, which is our biggest joy. It's the planet that we look for in terms of religion, justice, travel, because it rules 9th natural sign of the zodiac and 12th natural sign of the zodiac. So 12th house is spirituality, faraway lands, and 9th house is very much to do with pilgrimage, or basically going away for, say, education and coming home, and religion, belief system. This planet of spirituality, as I said, belief system, it's idealistic planet. It rules all forms of things like psychology, those kind of philosophy, and planet of expansion. And also it's how we set our goals, if you like. It rules, as I said, Sagittarius and Pisces, and they could not be two more different signs, really, because Sagittarius is very focused on goals, much more goal oriented than as Pisces. Pisces is much more floaty, go with the flow of life, because also water sign, and it's a more creative sign. Whereas Sagittarius is much more like about getting the job done. And whether it's you always want to have a look at your Sagittarius, where it falls in your chart, because even if it's, say, for example, if it's your 3rd house, so that will be your Libra, Sagittarius means that everything that you say, because this planet is how you communicate, 3rd house, has a goal, has a message, has a direction. So it is, wherever Sagittarius falls in our chart, it has a direction, it has a focus, it's got a means of getting there, and we can be a little bit more direct about that in a sense. Any planet that is actually in Pisces is a little bit lost anyway, because it's not grounded, because it's Pisces, it rules feet, and feet and a water sign. It's a strange setup, really, isn't it? Unless if you're a mermaid. And so we're not really completely grounded about any planets that fall in Pisces, generally speaking. So it's more connection with other realms, really. So, and Jupiter is friendly with Mars, Sun, Moon, Mars, Sun, Moon, and also I would say with Ketu as well. But it's neutral with Saturn, and it's unfriendly enemies with Venus, Mercury, and I would say it's not good with Rahu. Rahu can bring deception, so it's and this is our ethics, really. This planet, so it's not going to go very well. As I said, it's Jupiter can be led by class, it can discriminate, it can be a little bit snobbish as a planet, and it can make us be a little bit too idealistic. Like, for example, if it's in your 7th house, this is the sort of person they want to be with. They've got to be like this, they've got to be like that, they've got to come from that sort of background, that kind of thing. So they could actually, somebody with Jupiter in the 7th house can have those kind of ideas. And in a sense, what will happen is, like, they could really overlook really wonderful partners because of that, because obviously they don't live in the right side of town, they don't drive the right car, that kind of thing can be very much the theme for Jupiter. So that's something to be aware of. Whereas Venus is not like that, because they see with Venus, they see the potential in the person. Jupiter can't see that potential. So this is the difference between them. This is where you can get a bit naughty. So for me, Jupiter, for example, what it does, it has it actually impacts my 3rd house. So what it does is, like, I'm constantly learning. And then I really need Saturn, which luckily I do have that helping. It kind of makes me much more grounded and brings it together, because if I was just to let Jupiter do his thing, I'll be constantly doing 3rd house stuff, and I can literally be on course after course after course after course, and I'm too old to be studying. I finished education in 1980, so well, that was just like teenage years, but just generally speaking, it can just keep you going for years. And you be constantly studying, because you always feel as though there is an ocean of information and I need to be diving in there. So really, it's good if then Saturn does ground you and actually think, well, how about consolidating? It's no point learning if you don't put it together and utilize it. So yeah, it can be a little bit naughty like that. So anyway, so that's kind of what Jupiter is all about, really. And I just wanted to just say Jupiter rules the liver and loves sugary foods. So Jupiter is good for some. Obviously, it's going to be good for some ascendant and not so good for other ascendants. So you'd always want to just make sure that you look at all of those things as well. Don't think that it's just because it's Jupiter is going to be good for you. It's not that case at all. It's not a good planet, for example. It's definitely not a good planet for Libra ascendant or for Taurus ascendant. It can create lots of difficulties for them. So yeah, but I find even if it's a bad planet for them, in transit it's a lot more gracious, really. It does work really well for that. And overall, I just want to say that it is the planet of, it does give you opportunities, which is the most amazing thing about Jupiter. Right, so now I'm going to do Jupiter conjunctions. Thank you. Jupiter rules Thursdays. Rules color yellowy kind of orangey, mustardy colors. And it's exalted in Cancer, which is a sign of family and being a unit together, having each other's back, and debilitated in Capricorn, which is all about status and achievement. So it's doesn't really like that as such. It also, yellow diamonds are ruled by Jupiter, and citron, which is a beautiful, they're both very beautiful and create that optimism, that yellow color. So that's pretty lovely. Okay, let's start the conjunctions or aspects with other planets. So this is Jupiter Moon conjunction. So these two planets work really, really well together. Jupiter and Moon, I mean, obviously they're friendly with the Sun and Mars as well. This is like the group of planets that are really happy to be in each other's company. However, Jupiter and Moon together create most amazing yogas. This is like Moon needs reassurance, needs support, needs somebody to have his back, if you like. And Jupiter is the planet that gives that stability and feeling of protection to the Moon, because it's planet of optimism after all. So all the indications we've just gone through, and Moon is the mind. So you can imagine by that optimism, creating positivity, knowing that being connected to God, source, all of those things are really, really important for the Moon. So I'm just going to go through the Moon's indications, and then we just have a chat about it. So Jupiter and Moon, as I said, they're best friends, really, in a sense. And Moon is obviously your mother, your happiness, how receptive you are. It's liquid assets, hormones, security, home environment, early education, feeling safety, trusting people, all of those things, feelings, emotions, how sensitive you are, it's all seen through the Moon. And so now we have a situation that now the planet that gives optimism is sitting with the mind. So naturally it's going to elevate the Moon's indications, particularly if Moon is a good planet for you. But obviously we've got to see that for not all ascendants, Moon and Jupiter are not good planets. So, but nonetheless though, once if it is sitting with Jupiter and is free of any malefic kind of like aspects then it is going to work really well. And this is going to be the same whether or not Jupiter is 7 houses from the Moon or sitting with the Moon. But I'm going to come back to this because there is also wonderful yogas as well, one of which is called Kasari Yoga. And that's like a yoga which is like a combination, if you like, of planets. Of greatness. It creates like a sambandha, a connection between planets. So anyway, this is like now we have the Moon, and Moon is going to be obviously the planet with all these very, very private indications, and now it's going to be like filled with abundance and optimism and opportunities, and glass is half full. Actually, no, glasses might be even overflowing. So this gives the person just the most amazing reassurance, really, for the Moon. It's everything comes from place of positivity. Like certain combinations can make you like you've got a problem for every solution. There are some people in life, and you just think, oh, for goodness sake, why can't they just see the positivity in something? And they always. They just like everything they think, everything they say, the choice of word, the choice of emotions and everything, because everything that we think is not real. It's like, it's just, we all have so many thousands of thoughts a day. They're not real, but giving energy, sort of like energy of lack, then it makes it difficult. But now you're given that energy of positive energy. So everything is like they have a solution for everything. They just literally see opportunity in everything, even the more difficult things. They're actually able to absorb it and then just turn it into something like gold, basically. So amazing. So this is like they naturally have this faith, they trust, they just know things will work out okay. They don't really go and sweat all the small stuff of life. Why would you? Because you just think, I'm just not going to waste my energy on things. I know things will be okay. And that in itself can be so amazing, being around people like that, because they are full of that wisdom of Jupiter. And now that is actually, they can send the rays of feelings and reassurance that people around them need. Oh my gosh, imagine if you had parents who both have that, or even one parent having something like that. It's just amazing that, don't worry, things will always work out okay. So that could be a really nice mantra, really. That's like Jupiter moon mantra. Things will be okay. Leave it to God, they'll be okay. I trust. They even if they don't have anything, they're just very grateful for small blessings. So this is, you can just see that wealth is not necessary, even though Jupiter is planet of wealth and moon is liquid assets. However, they don't measure things necessarily by money. They measure things by having a nice family, because moon rules the natural fourth house of the zodiac. Now, the planet that actually is exalted in moon sign is like having an impact on the moon. So everything is about family and community and homeland, and like giving. They just like generosity of heart, generosity of mind, generosity of gestures, of words. They're wise. They know that they have an impact on other people, so they want to live life in a way that they actually can touch people, and they with kindness, with empathy and support. They're just there for you. That they are they can be trusted. They're also very grateful for everything in their life. They pay gratitude. They know it's not an entitlement to have like hot water every day. So they know that whenever they step into having a bath or a shower, they're grateful for all the beauty, that everything that they've been blessed with, even if it's very little. So in that sense, they are wealthy, absolutely wealthy. And if they have money, well, that's another form of wealth, isn't it? But wealth is not always measured with money and what you have in your bank account. Now, there are situations where if moon is sitting with an opposite, it can actually create, if these happen to be in angles, like say Jupiter is in the 10th house, and if say moon is in the 10th house with Jupiter, or actually in the 4th house, then this creates what's called Kasari Yoga, which is all about accomplishment, respect, and it is fame and success and all of that as well. But it's also a blessed, being blessed with things in life, and it's that kind of a yoga. It can occur in other ways as well, so it doesn't necessarily have to be in conjunctions or opposite. It can happen if they're in an angle from each other, that kind of thing. But and obviously all of these yogas very much depend on the condition of the planets too. But generally speaking, wonderful setting for the moon, really, because what it does, it just creates that amazing kind of situation within the two planets. And this is like Jupiter also rules the 9th house of the natural zodiac, so it'd be like somebody that you respect, and they are like a father figure to you, even if they could be like your neighbor or something like that, or somebody at work, but they got that, that they got your back, they're caring about you and your family's well-being. And the moon is obviously rules the natural 4th house of the zodiac, so these are almost like a parental thing going on as well. You just feel as though they, patriarch and matriarch, that kind of thing, coming together, where they are everything that they do is much more, because they both rule what is called sattvic signs. So it's all about sustaining and looking after things, looking after traditions. Jupiter rules traditions, rules history, rules religion, belief systems, spirituality. And moon rules homeland, communities, and mothers nurture, rules nursing, So it is a wonderful setting in a sense, really, because it brings fourth and ninth house together in the natural zodiac. Right. The next video I'm going to do is going to be like these indications for different ascendants. Thank you for watching. Thank you.